back to Real Literature and Random Videos by Neha Sultana. In today's video, I will discuss 13 from question number 13 to 25. Along with that, I'll explain. And before I begin my video, I would like to say that if you are new here, then please make sure to subscribe, because from your subscriptions, I'll get encouragement to make such videos for you all and help you all. Okay. So the question number 13 is, a key assumption of cultural studies is that people are part of a hierarchical structure of. So there are 4 options here, and I ticked it power as a correct answer. Let's discuss. The correct answer is power. One of the key assumptions of cultural studies is that people are part of a hierarchical structure of power. This perspective views culture as shaped by power dynamics, where media and other cultural forms reflect and reinforce these power structures. Cultural studies examines how power, often linked to class, race, gender, and other social factors, influences cultural practices and communication. Question number 14. According to cultural studies, a dash in our culture is strongly affected by the media. And the 4 options are industry, hierarchy, advertising, meaning. And the correct answer is meaning. Let's see how. The correct answer is meaning. According to cultural studies, our culture is strongly affected by meaning, right? This perspective emphasizes that the media play a crucial role, which means it plays an important role in constructing and conveying meaning in society. Media representation, symbols, language, and images shape how people perceive and interpret the world around them. Cultural studies focuses on analyzing how these meanings are produced, circulated, and received, and how they influence ideologies, values, and beliefs. This is it for this. Question number 15. What are the 4 types of cultural theory? And these are the 4 given options are here, and choose the correct option. So the correct option is, the correct answer is only A is correct. The 4 types of cultural theory typically referred to are hierarchical, individualist, egalitarian, and fatalist. These categories come from cultural theory as developed by anthropologist Mary Douglas and others, which classify how different cultures weave and organize society in terms of power, authority, and social structure. So these types help explain how people understand and relate to the world around them in different cultural settings. Question number 16. Counter-hegemony is a process that, and there are 4 options are here, glorifies the status quo, attempts to sustain hegemonic power, challenges capitalism, and the D1 is challenges the status quo and attempts to dismantle hegemonic power. So there are 4 options are here, and the correct one is, the correct answer is only D is correct. How? Counter hegemony is a process, okay, that challenges the status quo and attempts to dismantle hegemonic power. It involves resisting dominant ideologies, particularly those that uphold existing power structures such as capitalism, patriarchy, and colonialism. Counter hegemonic movements seek to create that alternative ways of thinking, organizing, and being, with the goal of challenging and changing the dominant social, political, and economic systems. Question number 17. In cultural and media studies, decoding refers to, and there are 4 options. The first one is the process of interpreting the meaning of a text by breaking it down. B1 is involvement of understanding others based on the information given in a message. And the C1 is the way in which the text can be disassembled for meaning, the way in which the texts are put together. So these are the four options are here in which we have to choose the correct one, right? Let's see its explanation along with the answer. The correct answer is A, B, and C are correct. In cultural and media studies, decoding refers to the process of interpreting the meaning of a text, which involves breaking it down. Understanding the message or information provided, and B1 and identifying the way in which the text can be read for meaning. And the C1 is decoding is an active process where the audience makes sense of the media or cultural text, often influenced by their own social, cultural, and ideological contexts. Question number 18. In cultural studies, audience refers to a group of people who are present in a show, a group of people who produce a show, or a group of people who perform in a show, and the last one is a group of people who consume in a show. Choose the correct options. There are 4 options here, and let's see the answer along with the explanation. The correct option is AD. Because in cultural studies, the audience refers to a group of people who are present in a show. This is so clear, right? As well as a group of people who consume the show, which means this aligns with the idea that the audience is both physically present and actively engaging with the content, interpreting and consuming it. Question number 19. Match the books with authors. Here is the list of authors in which there is Stuart Hall, Richard Hogarth, E.P. Thompson, Raymond Williams. And the books list are Culture and Culture and Society, Customs in Common Studies in Traditional Popular Culture, and the uses of literacy. And here is last one is Media and Cultural Studies key works. So these are the 4 options are here in which we have to select the correct one, and the correct answer is third one. Let's see its explanation. Okay. So here Stuart Hall. Stuart Hall's book is Media and Cultural Studies, and Richard Hogarth's book is The Uses of Literacy. E.P. Thompson wrote Customs in Common, that is Studies and Traditional Popular Culture. And the D1, Raymond Williams wrote Culture and Society. So these are the correct key answers that I'm providing you all. And if you have any queries, then please let me know in the comment section below. And please make sure to subscribe. I'm doing so much of hard work to provide this answer key videos on my YouTube channel, that is Real Literature and Random Videos. From here, I will also provide the important topics that you must cover in your next KSET exam, or if you have cleared in this attempt, then congratulations from my side. Or if you haven't cleared this exam, then please join my channel, and I will promise you all that you will clear your KSET in next attempt, definitely. So please make sure to subscribe. Moving on to the question number 20, and the question is cultural studies originated in dash, and some critics think it cannot be effectively extended to other cultures. And there are 4 options: US, Britain, Australia, Germany. And the correct answer is Britain. Cultural studies originated in Britain, particularly at the University of Birmingham in the 1960s. Some critics argue that it cannot be effectively extended to other cultures because it was initially shaped by specific British social and political context. So this focus on Britain has led to debates about the relevance of cultural studies to different cultural settings. Question number 21. According to Plato, mimesis means narration, recognition, discourse, or imitation. And the correct one is, according to Plato, mimesis means imitation. Let's see how. According to Plato, mimesis means imitation. So, in his works, particularly the Republic, so if you didn't know this work, then please Google it, or from there you can download the entire work of Plato. When you read, you will understand that in his works, particularly that Republic, Plato uses the term mimesis to refer to the process by which art imitates life, or more specifically, the ideal forms of reality. So he believed that art is a mere imitation of the physical world, which itself is an imitation of the perfect abstract forms. For Plato, mimesis was a concept tied to the idea that art could never fully represent the author or the ideal. Question number 22. According to Longinus, a sublimity is the ego of the mind, the reflection of passion, the ego of the greatness of soul, the proper use of reason. So the correct answer is the ego of the greatness of soul. According to Longinus, a sublimity is the ego of the greatness of the soul. So in his work on the sublime, Longinus describes that sublimity as a quality in literature that arises from the writer's profound emotions, which transcend mere technical skill. So he believed that sublimity was not just about eloquence or technique, but about the greatness of the writer's soul, which inspires a powerful emotional response in the reader or audience. Question number 23. The statement, her world is brazen, the poets only deliver a golden, is made by, there are four options: Philip Sidney, Samuel Johnson, William Wordsworth, or John Keats. So the correct one is Samuel Johnson. This phrase comes from his work Lives of the Poets, where Johnson discusses the idea that poets express timeless truths and beauty which resonate with readers across generations. The golden refers to the valuable and enduring nature of the poet's work. 24. Question number 24. Who called imagination as exemplastic a power? Lord Byron, T.S. Eliot, P.V. Shelley, or Samuel Coleridge? So the correct answer is Samuel Coleridge. The term exemplastic power was coined by Samuel Taylor Coleridge. So, in his Biographia Literaria, Coleridge used the term to describe the imagination's ability to shape and unify disparate elements into a harmonious whole. The word exemplastic comes from the idea of shaping into one or combining into a whole, emphasizing the creative and synthesizing function of the imagination. What does I.A. Richards mean by the term synesthesis? A harmony and equilibrium of impulses, a harmony between sound and rhythm, a harmony between words and music, or a harmony between body and soul. I.A. Richards is the work. The philosophy of rhetoric uses the term synesthesis, the term synesthesia or synesthesis to refer to a harmony and equilibrium of impulses. So basically, in this context, synesthesia is understood as the blending or fusion of different sensory experiences, where the perception of one sense, like sound, evokes an experience in another, like sight or touch, leading to a more unified and harmonious experience. Richards applied this idea to language and poetry, where words can evoke multiple sensory responses simultaneously, creating a richer and a more complex emotional effect. So this is it for today's video. We will discuss further questions in next video. And if this video found you helpful, then please make sure to subscribe. And if you have any queries regarding the answer key or the explanation, please let me know in the comment section. And please make sure to subscribe, please. And see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye.